Hey y'all, it's Kelly with Kelly Crafts It All. Today I thought I would bring to you a tutorial for a days till Halloween little calendar. And I thought this was really cute since we only have 19 days left till Halloween. It's just a little calendar, and that's all it does is tells you how many days till Halloween. I think it's, pretty cute. Big enough to be able to read, but small enough to sit on a shelf or a table. So this is what we're going to make. I've done the calendar. I will link it below. And it's different. It's, if you want to do days of the month, like this, and then it has the little blocks that you can turn and stuff. But this one's a little different because it doesn't, you're just doing days of till Halloween. Alright, so what we're going to need is, I used approximately 4 pieces of 8.5 by 11. Go through your scraps if you have some scraps and check them first. That's what I do. I always go through my scrap pieces and see if I have enough, because there's some that are pretty small pieces. And you probably get away with it. So first thing we're going to need is a 1 piece that measures 8.5 by 10 1/4, and this will be our base. And we're going to have to cut this. And I'm cutting this one a little different than I did the other one. I made a little template because I started this video and cut it wrong, and I'm on my last piece of black cardstock. This is the Astra Bright. I get mine at Walmart. I believe it's 65 pound, I believe. I wanted to say. Yeah, it's the 65 pound, and it's called Eclipse Black. So, now I get mine at Walmart. But I thought I had another pack, and I don't. So I'm on my very last piece. So if I screw this one up, I'm going to have to go to white. But anyhow, so I made this little template, and we're going to square it first. Before we cut. Be nice, huh? You guys know where to square it at. So remember, this is our base. We're at 8.5 by 10 1/4. And we are going to score this. We are on our 10 1/4 inch side. First score is at 3 inches. And then at 7 1/4. We're going to rotate this 1 turn and on our 8.5 inch side. And we're going to measure at 2 3/4. And then again at 4 3/4. And that's all the scoring. Okay. Okay, now we're going to cut it, and this is how I need, this is the template. Because I want to, before I was cutting this whole entire piece out. But I want to wrap this to the back and make that a lot thicker and more sturdy. My other one, this was the one that I cut off. And by the time I glued this on and I glued this on, this started to bend this way, wanting to curl over the blocks. So I changed that up a little bit. So here's the template of how we're going to cut this. Okay. And how I'm going to cut mine is we are going to start by cutting in at the 2 sides. So you have your 3 big blocks, and then so up here in this big block, we want to leave it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut in on that first score line to that score line there. If you want to put this on your paper trimmer and do it, if you don't like and you don't cut straight, you can. Right, I'm going to do that again on the opposite side. And I'm going to fold those back on them score lines. I'm going to just flip that back, and I'm going to bend this other one back. Okay, so now you've got this to follow, and you're just going to cut down along this score line where we folded. You have a score line along your fold now, and you're going to cut down that score line. So that score line that's going across. You only have one score line there, so when you meet that, that's as far as you cut. And then I'm just going to flip mine over because it's easier. And just like that, okay? Okay, so we have our base, and then all we're going to do is fold up on that bottom score line there. And then we're going to bend this one up. And make sure it's pretty even. And then I'm going to fold this one up. And I'm going to put these towards the back again, and then this is going to go up like this, and these are going to wrap around the back. Okay, so first off, I'm going to, these two big ones here, I'm going to glue those to the back. I'm just checking to make sure I'm still recording. My phone has a tendency to turn itself off sometimes. And we're just gonna just glue this one on here to the back. Just make sure I'm good and even on the top there. Okay, and if you want to round your corners like I did, you can do that. And when you do, it'll be this, you know, very front corner here. And that very front corner on the opposite side. And then it'll be your top two corners, if you want to round them off. And then we're just going to put glue on these two flaps right here, because these are the ones that are going to wrap around the back. Fold up, and these are going to wrap towards the back and be glued there, and it should look like this. Get that in there. Okay. And you can push it in there and lay it down. You can burnish it down. Just going to do that again. Okay, so we have our base done. That's that. Pretty simple. Now, if you wanted to decorate yours before you did that, you could, but I do mine after. So, okay, we've got the base done. Alright guys, we're going to work on our boxes, and you're going to need 2 sheets of cardstock that measure 8.5 by 6. So you'll need 2 of those. Okay, we're going to put this in at the 8.5 inch side. We're going to score at 2, and at 4, 6, and 8. Rotate it so your tabs are at the top. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, and rotate it. You're not, you just say your tabs, and then you can go score at 2 and at 4. So on the 6 inch side, score at 2 inches and at 4 inches. So while you're here, you can go 1.5, go past the first score line down to the second one. At 4.5, past the first one down to the second one. rotate it to the opposite end and do the same thing. 1.5 down past the first, down to the second, and at 4.5 down to the first, past that, down to the second. Okay, so that's how it should look. And we will cut this together, and you're just basically cutting your lines on the outside. Don't cut anything inside, just cut on the outside. So I'm going to cut up here on this very first outside score line. And I'm going to cut this off. Like so. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. Just cut up that score line all the way down. Just like so. I'm going to cut this out. I'll do the same on the opposite side. Do the same thing, cut up that score line, that outside one. And cut up this side here and cut that out. So you should look like this, like a cross. Now on each one of those score lines, you're just going to snip up to the first score line. So we're making tabs for our box. So there's a small one there, and the next one, just cut to that score line. All those little tiny ones you can cut up. Now this corner one, you can actually just kind of, you know, cut it off at an angle. We're going to angle cut all those anyway. And we're going to cut up this one. Doing the same thing on the opposite side. Now you can just go in and make, you know, how we do little tabs by cutting that little tiny triangle out. So it should look like this. Okay. Now we're just going to fold up on all those score lines and make a box. So we got one. I just like to fold up all those little ones and get it done and out of my way. I'm going to push this off into the trash can. It's driving me nuts. My desk is a mess. I've got so much stuff on my desk right now. I've got a swap coming up, and I've got pieces, parts to stuff everywhere. I've got tutorials. I've got parts. I've got a couple tutorials coming, and I've got the pieces, parts all sitting over here. I just have a little edge there to cut off, so I've got stuff strewn all over the place. And now we're done, and now we're gonna fold all the ones going this way. And it's gonna take it takes a little time, but you know, hey, Rome wasn't built in a day either, so. And now you're just gonna glue all your little tabs to the box. So I have those on check, see if I'm recording. So what I'm just you know, I just glue it into a box, and I'll just meet my edges up. Now this is going to make a 2" by 2" cube. Tuck them ones in there. Glue all over my hands. And glue all over my project. If you have to bend them back to get them out of your way, it's not going to hurt anything. If you find you got a little piece hanging over, trim it off with some scissors. Okay, and then we'll have these last tabs. I'm just going to poke them down in there. And there's a cube. So we've got one done. And that's going to fit in there just fine. And then we're going to make one more. So I'm going to go off camera and make this one, and then I'll come back when I have it done. Okay, I'm back with my second cube. So I've got 2 cubes and a base. I'll set that aside. So we need to have our wedges for our box. And the wedges make it so it tips back. If you don't have the wedges in there, they kind of sit straight up, and from the distance, when I look over at my desk, they tip back, and it's nice to, you know, to see it. You don't have to put the wedges in, I guess, if you don't want to, but I like them. So we are going to need a 6, this is the back wedge to the box, and you're going to need a 6 5/8 by 4 1/4. The one we're working on now. I'm going to set this up here. Maybe y'all can see it in case you want to look at it. We're going to start on the 6 5/8 inch side. We're going to score it 1/2 inch. 3 1/4. And it's 6. Okay. All we're going to do is fold on our score lines. Burnish them down. And then we're just going to, there's a shorter end and a longer end. I like to put the longer end to the outside. Just meet that longer end to the short end to the edge. So. It's going to get covered. I think this is one, yeah, I think it's, no, this is the back wedge. It's going to be hidden, so. And that's all there is to that wedge. And then we're going to have a front wedge, and this measures 5 1/8 by 4 1/4. And we're going to put this in our scoreboard at the 5 1/8 inch end side. And we're going to score it 2, 2 1/2, and at 4 5/8. And that's all there is for that one. Same thing, we're just going to score on them. Burnish on the score lines. And one more. And we're going to do the same thing. Okay, and then all we're going to do is basically the same, almost the same thing. We're just going to put some glue on here. And then we're just going to lay that on top. Okay, this is going to be our front wedge. Alright. Whoop. I'm just going to make sure if it's not exactly even, it's not a big deal. Like, I have a little bit of a gap because I'm just trying to keep this a little more square. So, but if it's not a big deal. It's not going to hurt anything. We're fine. Alright, we have the month box. Now we're going to do this one. I hope I told you the right measurements, but the measurements are 5 1/4 by 7. Okay, I had messed it all up. Got to that part of the video, decorated it all, and went, uh-oh, it was way too big. I cut it the wrong size. So it is 5 1/4 by 7. Okay, so we're going to score that. So this video, when I come, watch the tutorial all the way through, because this is going to be choppy. Okay, so we're going to lay ours on the 5 1/4 inch side, and we are going to score at 2, 2.5, 4.5, and 5. Okay, I'm going to rotate that to that was on the 7-inch side. I'm sorry, 7-inch side. We're going to score at 2, 2.5, 4.5, 5. Okay, on the 7-inch side. Turn that to your 5 1/4 inch side. You're going to score a 1/2 inch. Rotate it all the way around to the other side and score it a 1/2 inch. Okay. All right. So you have your two sides here with a 1/2 inch, and you have these little tiny squares. You're just going to cut up each one of those to that score line. You only have one score line, so you're going to cut up to that. Rotate it and do the same thing. And there and there. And then you can choose which end you would like. It doesn't really matter. And where you have the little one here, if you bend them down out of your way, you'll see you have a gap. In this very first one, you're going to cut that away on the score line. Just like that. I'm going to flip mine over because it's easier for me to see. And we'll cut that one off. You can throw them away. And then I'm just going to fold and burnish on all those score lines. This video has been a whirlwind. I'm completely out of black cardstock. Walmart, where I get it at, is completely out, according to their online store. So I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm hoping to get more in, or I'm going to have to order it. Yeah. Okay, so when you fold it down, you should fold just like a box. So I'm folding on, if you're on the side here that has the tabs, you'll see the first score line. If you fold on that second score line, it should lay flat. And you can add your glue to the flap that we cut the edges off of. So yeah, I'm completely out of black cardstock. Realize I made the mistake on this month box that I cut it way too big, and I'm scurrying through my scrap pile, hoping I can find a piece, which luckily I did. It was actually 1/8 of an inch short, but I was like, we're going to go with it. And then you just pop it up and make it, turn it, make it a box, okay? And I'm going to fold these flaps out of my way for a minute. I'm going to let that dry a second, but that's okay. I like to take my 2 flaps, put those in, a little dot of glue here. And do that. It doesn't matter which way the flaps go. If we were making a regular box, it'd be different, but these are going to get glued to the inside of the base, so it doesn't matter. That good side, you know. I don't know how you make boxes. Usually if it's the back of the box, I like to have my box glued down. It's not a big deal. Don't pay no attention to me. Okay, so we have our little box. Now let's make sure it fits in there. Yes, it fits in there. Okay, we're good to go. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece of designer series paper of whatever, you know, size you want. Mine is wrong now because I do believe I threw it away because I thought it was wrong, but it wasn't. This is the top. We could do the top. The top is 1 7/8 by 4. You can cut it however size you want it to. If you want more black showing, cut a little shorter, a little smaller. If you want less black, cut it a little bigger, okay? Just line that up. Okay. This video feels like, for me, it's been going on forever because I've messed up so many times. Now I'm going to need to cut me a new piece because I messed up. And I need a piece that measures 3/8 by 4. I'm going to mark mine on my board, a scoreboard here, because I can't see the numbers on my cutter. Cut that out. Okay, 3/8 by 4. Alright. Set that aside so I don't mix it up. And then I'm going to put this on the front here. Like so. Whoop. See if I can straighten that up a bit without having my head all up in the camera. I'm sure it's been in there several times. Now, I have a little edge that I didn't like sticking out. Just trim it off. It'll be alright. It'll be alright. Okay, I did mine on my cutting machine. I printed it and then cut it. You can use whatever you have. You can handwrite it. If you have nice handwriting, or if you feel comfortable enough. I don't, so I print and cut everything. If you have, maybe you have a stamp set that says October or separate letters. Some stickers. If you have some little stickers, you could use that too. And I'm just going to put that on that month box, and that's that. Or calendar. So what you're going to need, you can decorate this however your little heart desires, but I did 1 3/4 inch squares, and you'll need 12 of those if you want to do it this way. If you want to do this in pattern paper and even make a smaller square, you can. You're just going to have to make your circles to fit, and then you'll need some numbers, and you're going to need, let's go over these because these are important. Put you over here where you probably could see a little better. And a 3 and a 4. No, I've got such a mess on my desk. Put that over there before I lose it. Okay. You're going to need 2 zeros, 2 number 1s, 2 number 2s. You're going to need 1 3, 1 4, 1 5, 6, and 9 are the same. So your 6 needs to be able to look like a 6 or look like a 9. Okay? So that's 6 or 9. And then you'll need a number 8 and a number 7. Okay? Mine are a little warped. I glued these last night and before I went to bed, and they kind of warped a little bit. Okay? So I'm going to leave that there for just a second. And I'll have a, up in the top, I usually always put the description up there, up in the top. I'll tell you what you need, or down at the bottom. You'll see. So 2 zeros, 2 1s, 2 2s, 1 3, 1 4, 1 5, 1 6/9, 1 8, 1 7. Okay? My circles are, I don't remember. I thought I wrote them down. I did write them down on this piece of paper. Okay, my circles are cut. I've got the black part is cut at 1.5, I believe. Let me see. Got my ruler here. Let's see, the pink ones are cut at 1.5. And then the black ones are cut at 1 5/8. Okay. So pinks are 1.5, blacks are 1 5/8, or whatever, circle you have that you can fit on the box that will fit in your 1 3/4 inch square. So that's what I was doing here. I started gluing them together, and then I said, oh, let me get this tutorial going. So all I did was I glued my circles all together. I put my numbers on, and then I'm just going to glue my circles onto my squares. And my circles just, just making it edge to edge. Okay, like that. And that's this one here. And you can do this in anything you want. You can do pattern paper, you could ink your edges. However, whatever you want to do. Okay, I'm going to go finish these up and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I am back. And I've got my circles all placed onto my squares. We're going to get our blocks out, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to fit what you can on what. So you're going to have 0 through 5 on one box. So I just like that. It doesn't even matter how they go, just so because they're going to flip and they're going to flop. So I just get them going here. And I'll put a 0 here. Now, I used thicker cardstock, and it really wants to warp for some reason. So I'm just going to get them to go down as best as I can. Okay, so I did 0, then I'll just tip it up and I'll put 1. And it doesn't matter because, like I said, it's a cube. Try to get them centered. This is going to be a gift. I hope my head wasn't all up in y'all's Kool-Aid there. I'm sorry, guys. That's going to go next. I have something on the of mine, but it's on the back, so. Two. The number 3. Whoops. I don't know if they're going to have trick or treat this year or not. But we don't really get any trick or treaters anyway, because our city does what they call trunk or treat. And they go down the main street in the business district, and they all the stores and shops pass out candy there, and then they have a parade at the park. Now I'm gluing number 4 on one side here. But they will have a little parade at the park. I don't know if they're going to this year, but in past years they did. Now the last, since COVID, we haven't had anything. And I'll go back and double check all this and re-glue everything really good before I give this away, because I'm trying to get it done for you guys, and it's not a big deal. And then I'm going to put number 5 on here. Wherever you want it to go. Like I said, it's a cube. It's not really going to matter. I've got this thicker paper, and boy, it's being a real booger. I should have put the squares on and then the circles. Like that, okay? So then whatever numbers you have left over are going to go, the same identical way, okay? So when I get those done, I'll be back. Alright guys, I'm back with my cubes, and they're all numbered up. So you should have 2 2-inch cubes, and I've got mine decorated. And then we're going to work on our base here. I'm going to find my papers here. I have mine all cut out, so I didn't have to fool around cutting. And I have this is what I'm calling the back inside. Now you can decorate yours with whatever paper you're wanting to do. This was a digital print that I got off of Etsy last year or year before last. I've had this file for a while. I do a lot of digital printing because I hate to cut paper. If I can print it and I can have it forever, I don't mind cutting it. But if I buy paper pads, I won't cut them. It's just how I am. So I quit buying them. Alright, so you need, this is 4 by 5.5. You can have 1 or 2 of these if you want to decorate the back with the same thing. You can. I have my rounded corners, so I need rounded corners on the top. If you have directional paper, make sure you're getting the top. And this is going to lay inside here like so. So we're going to glue that in there. We're just going to glue that inside. And it doesn't have to go all the way to the bottom because you're not going to see it because you're going to have a wedge in there. So just get it as even as you can. And then we're going to have 2 for the side, 2 for this side, and these I have cut at, let me see, I have 4 of those cut at 2 3/4 by 2.5, and I have these printed on cardstock It's the Astra Bright cardstock, and I'm not sure what weight it is, but it's the Astra Bright Bright White. It used to be Nina Bright White. But anyhow, you'll need 4 of them cut at 2 3/4 by 2 1/2. And if I'm putting this on the outside, I know I need to round one of my corners there for this one here. And we're just gonna put these on. Oops. Well, that was good. Usually every time if I do that, it'll drop glue side down and I'll have a complete mess. Now, I mean, if you like more black showing or less black showing, you can cut these to whatever suits your fancy, okay? You don't have to do my measurements. If you don't like this much black around the edges, cut them bigger. I'm just going on the inside and burnishing that down a little bit. And I want this one on this side, so I know I need to cut the corner on that side. If you're using directional paper, and then I've got 2 for the inside here. Because you do see, you know, when you're taking the blocks out, you see the inside, so that's why I did that. So I need one here. I'm going to cut that corner. Just putting glue on it. And then I'm going to pop that inside there. Line that up as best as I can. Like I said, you could probably have decorated this before we put it together, but why would I do anything the easy way? That just would not be me. Of course, this one wants to be a booger. Because I can't stick my head in there. I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. And I need one for this side, so I need to cut that corner. Well, stand up there. Alright, there we go. We got that part done. It's cute so far. Okay. Now I've got this wedge, the top wedge, and I just need a piece to cover the front. And I want to say this is a 1/2 inch by 4, yeah. So you need a 1/2 inch by 4. Here. I don't know, I always liked pink and black together, and the first time I can remember seeing pink and black was when I was a little kid, and I went to the drugstore. I don't remember for what, but it was Halloween time, and they had these candies, and they were taffy candies, and they were can't remember the name of Blackjacks. is what they were called, and they were pink and black. And when you unwrapped them, half of it was pink, half of it was black. And I fell in love with that color combo, and I said, oh, these are too pretty to eat. And my mom's like, just eat it. And I'm like, no, I like the colors. I had a drawer full of those wrappers in my top dresser drawer, tucked under my socks. And my mom found them and couldn't figure out why in the world I had all these wrappers. I was like, because I like the color. She's like, you're crazy, girl. Okay, then we can decorate the front of it. What I like to do is, I love these little jewels that are just clear. And I'll take a Sharpie marker or my alcohol markers or whatever I have. Like I have this one here. These are just the cheap ones from Walmart, the Pen and Gear. I've used them so much, I'm wearing it off. But I just use them. And all I do is I just take the pen, and I just go around them like that. And I can make them any color I need to match my project. And then that way I don't have to have 20,000 different colors of gems laying around. And so I did a row of them, and I know it takes one row to decorate my box. So I'm just gonna put that on there. You put on there what you want. If you have maybe some more sayings or a little Halloween something you want on there, you do you, boo. Alright, so I have that. Now I'm done with that. I have my month box, and I am going to glue the bottom of the month box. I'm gonna rub some glue on here. And I'm going to glue it to this wedge, and I'm just going to make sure the fronts are even. Boy, I can't hang on to anything today. Just like this, sticking my fingers in here and just make sure my fronts are even. Now, if you want to decorate that wedge part and put, you know, paper there, you can. You might just need, you only need maybe a little tiny piece. I think so. I did the back of mine. And I just, you know, went ahead and cut a little piece to cover it up back there. So, let's see here. I don't know what I know it's by 4. Let's see what we need. I just like to cut the fit. I'll just lay it in there. I'll get my pencil and leave me a little border. And then I'll cut it out. Oh, I like to cut on the bottom with my trimmer. And I know it's by 4. So. My allergies are kicking in. We had rain yesterday, and it's got my nose all gunky. Alright, just gonna tuck him in there. Like so. Okay. Like that. And this is going to go in here like so. You're going to get that back wedge. Now, if you want to decorate that, you can. And the fat end goes at the bottom. And then the fat end goes at the bottom. And then this goes in here like so. And then you do this. I'm trying to find my numbers here. And 1 and a 9. So it's going to look like that. Okay? But what I want to do first is I have that back wedge in there. I'm going to leave that back wedge in there. And I'm just going to run a little bit of glue right here. And on the other end. And I'm going to leave that back wedge in there, and I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to make sure I have that lined up. And if you want, you could even put some glue on the bottom of here. As well. I just want to make sure that that front's lined up with that. And that that's on the bottom. If you need your wedge in there, you can. If you don't, it's not a big deal. You don't have to have it in there. I'm just going to squeeze those sides, make sure I'm even in the front. Squeeze them, make sure I'm on the bottom. And then glue those edges. Just hold them there for a second until they catch. Like so. Okay, should be good. That. Okay. Now, let's see. You can decorate however you would like. Like I said, I did mine on my cutting machine. And I just did mine with a little bit of foam tape. This is that foam tape from the Dollar Tree, and it is some sticky, sticky stuff. It gums up my scissors. And then I have to go clean my scissors. Do that. Okay, my goodness. Like so, and then I have my days. And like I said, you can decorate this up as much as you want to. Because hopefully, if you're giving it as a gift, they're going to keep it. Or if you're doing it for yourself, you'll put it away and use it again next year. I just put the days like that. Oh, let's not put it upside down. But you gotta make sure, like I always like to put my blocks in here to make sure I'm not covering up. Or, you know, you don't want to put your Halloween way down there, or you're not going to see it. So that looks good to me. So, and then I have this little girl, and she was so cute, and I should have moved my Halloween over. I don't know if I can now or not. Yes, I can, maybe. Ooh, saved. This is the little girl, she's so cute. She's got her little spider. I have a little piece there. And I'm just gonna put a little glue on them, or on her, not on him. A little bit of glue, and then I'm gonna put her right about there. Oh, I just thought she was so cute. Don't ask me where I got it from. It's probably a digital from Etsy or from one of those like PNG sites. Sometimes they're free, sometimes you have to pay for them. So I have that. I have some candies here we could pop on. Let's get my Halloween back on here. Try not to get my head and shoulders all up in your nose. Kool-Aid here. There we go. And I have like a little lolly here. You could use that if you wanted to. You know, whatever we got going on here. There's a little candy. There's little candies here. We could use those. You know, like I said, you just decorate it up however. Oh, my glue don't want to come out. However you want to. Just pop that right there. A little Halloween candy there. And then this was a slolly, but apparently the little stick come on. But I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to stick it right there. That kind of blends in with my paper, so it doesn't show up very good. But there you guys go. Okay, let's call it quits. I could sit here and fiddle-dee-dee all this all day long. And there you go. Hope it wasn't too long of a tutorial. It wasn't too painstakingly crazy for you, because it was a crazy tutorial for me. So I got candies. I have to play all day. Alright guys, there we go. So, there. Now you can go make a Halloween. We have 19 days till Halloween. And you can go make yourself a little days till Halloween. These be great for Christmas even. You know, get you one for Christmas. And days till Christmas. And it's nice because I love the advent calendars, but usually they're so big. And if I don't have any little kids that need to get candy out of anything, so this is just perfect for me. And Oliver's over here screaming at me and telling me, hey, I want some lunch. So I guess we're going to go find some lunch here. Alright guys, that is the end of this tutorial. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them down in the comment section down below. Hope you enjoyed this video, and you will hit that like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you know when I upload a video. Like I say, I'm very sporadic with tutorials. You never know when I'm going to pop one up. And, because my life is just crazy. And I never know what I'm into. So, alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that. And hope you make yourself a Days Till Halloween calendar. And y'all have a great day. Take care. Stay safe. Remember, I love each and every one of you. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.